Hi, welcome back to BSwiftArt. Today I'm continuing on with my series of mixing two colors together and experiment and see what we get. Today I'm using Schminke colors instead of the Daniel Smith that I've used in other videos. I'm using two colors. I'm using the Rose Madder and the Deep Sea Violet. And the Deep Sea Violet is an extra granulating color. So super granulation in these. So I bought just a little tiny tube of it just to try it out. And then here is the other one that I'm using for the Rose Madder. I'm going to put those aside. I got some clean water and I'm going to mix up my Rose Madder here and put water in it until it reaches the consistency of milk, like whole milk. Yeah, a lot on my brush there. Let's scrape it off a little bit. Putting a little bit more water into it. A little thick yet. A little bit more water. You always want to mix your paint and water together before you start on your project, on your little palette. I like these little dishes. Yeah, I got them like in a 5-pack. They're porcelain. They also sell them in plastic. So there, that looks like a nice consistency. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Deep Sea Violet. Super granulating color. So what the granulating means is all those minerals that are in your watercolor paint, you'll be able to see them. It adds like a texture to your paint. So I'm trying to get these both the same consistency. And I think I'm there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the Deep Sea Violet, and then I'll put a little bit of water here so it can, you can see very dark violet. And this is the Rose Madder. A little water under it as well. Okay, so on my chart here, I have different percentages of paint, the two colors. So I have 100%, 75% one color, 25% the other color, then 50-50, and then 25 and 75% more being of the opposite color, and then 100% of that color. And then I'm going to show you a wet on wet technique to see how the two colors blend without mixing them first. Okay, so we'll start out with the Rose Madder. And we'll go with this 100% here. And I'm just going to paint it on my little color swatch. And working it out to the end. So I have the light color here as the paint gets thinner. And the darker color as the paint is more heavy on the paper. So I'm going to rinse out my brush here. And while I'm at it, why don't I just go ahead and mark my spots. So this is the top one, is the percentages of Rose Madder. And then on my second one, it's going to be of the Deep Sea Violet. And I'm just going to put a little circle there, get some off of this one so you can see it. And we're going to go 100% Deep Sea Violet down here. So let's try that first. So I'm going and I'm just working it out all the way to the end. So this is a thinner amount of paint. And you can see how it makes it lighter. And there's the darker. Now, I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm going to lift this up. Hopefully I don't make you dizzy. But as this dries, the super granulation comes out. And let me try to get this without getting everything to run. And I'll move it a little closer. I think you can see it pretty good there, especially right here in this concentration. You can see those little mineral particles in there. So it gives a very nice texture to your painting. Okay, and I will now, let's put it down there. We're going to do 75% Rose Madder and 25% Deep Sea Violet. So let's try to eyeball that. I don't know any way of doing it precisely, but we're just going to mix it up and mix up that paint here too, because that pigments have gone to the bottom. So I'm going to see if I can't figure out what 25% would be. I think somewhere right about there. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and mix these two colors and see what I get. Ooh, looks like a pretty raspberry. Very pretty raspberry color. I'm also interested to see when I mix these if that granulation will show. Because one is super granulated, one is not. Oh, that's a very pretty raspberry color. I'm going to let that dry and see if that granulation shows up. I can see it a little bit, and I can start to see it in this one right here. Okay, so now I'm going to go 50-50. So I'm going to add another 25% of the deep sea violet, because in this mixture there's only 25% and 75% of rose madder. So we need to add 25% more to this puddle. Maybe that much. Rinse my brush out because it would have a lot of that paint in there. Ooh, black cherry. I'm saying black cherry on this one. Very pretty. And it comes out to a very nice shade there. So black cherry on this side. And that side is, I don't know what to call it, but something lighter. So now let's go with 75% of the deep sea violet and only 25% of the rose. So I'm going to go over here and put some of my paint in this well. Rinse out my brush very well. And then I'm going to try to get just 25% of rose madder in there. A little bit there. Let's see how that does. We'll mix that up. Looks like we got a really nice Concord grape. Color grape Kool-Aid. Okay, so there's that one. That's very pretty. Okay, so you can see that just from the two colors, we've got the two colors that they are and three other colors. So that's very good. I love these purples. Sometimes purples are hard to find the ones you like, so it's good to have one that you can mix. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what do we get when we do wet on wet. I'm going to wet my little shape here just with clean water. And then I'm going to just put some freeform over here. And then I'm going to take my rose madder and I'm just going to dab it in a couple places. Isn't that fun to watch paint spread? And then I'm going to take my deep sea violet and I'm going to mix it in a little bit with that. Just let it, I'm dropping it in. Just letting it mix. Putting some on top of the rose madder. Might need a little bit extra rose madder in there. And I'm just kind of coaxing it with my brush. See if I can get some of these pretty colors that we just mixed. Let's see what they also will do on their own. So I'm going to leave all this just on its own. And in here I'm just rinse off my brush and then I'm just kind of dabbing it around so that it fills in that shape. Going out of the lines, that's okay. There we go. All right. Well, that was a fun one. I really like those purples. They're very pretty. This looks just like black cherry. That's really pretty. All right, well, I hope you liked this video also. If you would please like and subscribe, ring the bell for more notifications for when new videos come out. And I thank you so much for joining me today. And until we meet again, peace and love. Bye-bye.